Copies of the fics. Do we have anybody who is not going to read on stage? We're going to have multiple things here, and one of them is going to be people who are reading on stage, and the rest is the audience, and you can help proofread these along with me. So anyone who is not going to read these on stage, you may take one and keep it. So you can keep a watch on other people who are reading them. No, if you are going to read, you got to do it blind. If you are not going to read up on stage, you can have a copy of these to follow along in the audience. It might help you laugh and find it amusing. We got some over here. If you are going to read, here, and I'll pass it out. Here, folks. I've got some, so don't get too messy, people, okay? If you are, okay. By the way, don't do what I did. Don't get up and sneeze. Welcome to Hoof of Argon. Here's how we do this. If you read the fic up on stage, you should not be taking one of the copies out in the audience. That's for people who want to follow along and laugh at the people who are reading up on stage. This is like a variation on the classic sci-fi book, or I can't believe it is called in a book, Eye of Argon, but it's ponified. Here's how it came about. Last year, we invented Hoof of Argon, and the call went out for fics that were beyond horrible. Book player got drunk and wrote this without looking at what she was typing. It's pretty epic. And then there was one other entry by the famous 00 Mario fan forever 00. This will kill you. I'm going to start the turn. Now we're going to ask that you line up over there if you want to read the fic. Line up politely. Here's how we're going to do it. We are You can be quiet down if you want to, or I can just shout over you. This is the last panel that I have for BronyCon, so it doesn't matter whether I blow my voice up or not. You will come up on stage and begin reading the fic from where the last left off. If you have to read the fic as written, pronounce all of the words correctly. The people who have copies realize what this means. We're going to do Love on the Acres of Sweet Apples by Book Player first. Then, when we're finished with doing that one, we move on to the murderous one, MLP FIM Crisis in Time Space. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you make a mistake while reading it or start to laugh while reading it, and I'm going to request that since there are so many people doing this, we're probably going to move through pretty fast. Don't be offended if you slip up very quickly and move on, just roll with it, because it's possible we're going to have too many people to fit in, but we'll do our best. Oh, and if you make a mistake, it will be corrected. If you are corrected, please leave the stage safely and either go to your seat, which would be nice, or go all the way to the end of the line if you really need to try to go for another one. If there are people still trying to join the line, let them go in first. Without further ado, let us begin with Love on the Acres of Sweet Apples by Book Players. I'll do the first word, within. Now it's over to you. You're first. One at a time, please. One at a time, please. Sit in the chair. Begin to read the fic correctly from thee.
Love on the acres of sweet apples by book player. Within the acres of sweet apples, there lived a mighty stallion, and a large muscled stallion was he.
And muscled. Next. This is supposed to move fast. Don't mind if you get bonked really quickly. With A there.
A large and muscled stallion was he. For this story of a stallion, or largeness and muscles, refers to a pony of great might, a pony named Big Macintosh. Upon a sunnish morning on the acres of sweet apples, this stallion, Big Macintosh of the largeness and muscles, was pulling a plow. Thought fields of soil, the deep brown colors of dark chocolate. The plow flew easily, because Big Macintosh was a strong stallion, and the strength with which he pulled easily moved it, when there came a scream. The scream came with a sound as if a pony was tarped by a large object, but not as large as big.
Sorry, large objects. Objects, not objects. Next. Good performance. From the scream.
The scream came with a sound as if a pony was tarped by a large object, but not as large a Big Macintosh's muscles. Big Macintosh knew that.
Maxin-sish. Next. One person on the stage at a time, please. Your turn. You gotta pronounce it exactly right. You gotta keep people moving. But not inspired.
Okay. But not as large as Big Macintosh muscle.
But not as large a Big Macintosh's muscles. Next. We're continuing to try to do but not as large.
But not as large a Big Macintosh's muscles. Big Macintosh knew that if
Big Macintosh. What? No, we're out of. There are 2 more paper copies, but that's it. These paper copies are courtesy of me. Nobody else has it. But not as large.
but not as large a Macintosh.
Not as large a Big Macintosh muscle. We will get to the end of this fic. Next. This is not as hard as the bad one, people. But not as large. Get us through.
Big Macintosh's muscles. Big Macintosh's...
Big Macintosh? Who can say Big Macintosh next? They thought that I am our... Sir, please join us. Get us past this stage so we can read more of this thing. But not as large.
All right. But not as large as Big Macintosh.
A Big Macintosh? This is not easy. Don't believe this is easy. Come on. We'll get past this sentence. But not as large.
But not as large, a Big Macintosh's muscles. A Big Macintosh.
Not a Big Macintosh. Big Macintosh. We'll get past this. We will get past this. Somebody will come here to do it. I suggest cheering when we get past this sentence. But not as large.
But not as large a Big Macintosh's muscles. Big Macintosh knew that if there was a pony to be saved, his muscles must same them, and he would have to be there. So he...
He laughed, but he got us past it. Yay! Okay, that's going to take extra time, so please don't everybody do that. His muscles must.
His muscles must same them, and he would have to be there. So he went there fast, galloping with a swiftness of speed like a fast movine river down a steep mountain of rocks.
Mountain. Sir. So he went. No.
So he went at that fast, galloping like a swiftness of speed.
Sorry, galloping with the swiftness of speed. Well, this is not the hard one, folks. Go on. Again, get fast, keep this going, then cheering is indicated. So he went at
So he went there fast, galloping with a swiftness of speed like a fast movine river, down a steep mountain of rocks where it picked up speed until it was moving with electricity. And thus is Macintosh go.
Hey, I laughed at that one too. I cannot read and thus is Macintosh go, but you have to. Starting from this word.
And thus is Macintosh go. Electricity. Moving with electricity. And thus is Macintosh go, with that speed, to where the pony has screamed. Upon arriving at a place where a pony was trapped, he could see this pony beneath a pile of rocks was cheerily. He loved cheerily with the love.
Cheerio. I'm sorry. That's clearly Cheerio. Okay. We're making some progress.
Beneath a pile of rocks was Cheryl. He loved Cheryl with the love of a big heart, because a heart is a muscle, and all of Big Macintosh muscles was large. So when he saw the her came to save. He knew he had to work quickly to rescue her and aid in her escape. I came to rescue you, Macintosh said with a deep voice like a rumble of thunder on a summer day when there's a storm. I was plowing a field.
I'm sorry? Feld. Great job. We will continue from I came to rescue.
I came to rescue you, Macintosh said with a deep voice like a rumble of thunder on a summer day when there's a storm. I was plowing a feld when I heard a scream and I thought,
Sorry? With I heard a scream. With I heard a scream. Thank you, gentlemen.
I came to rescue you, Macintosh said with a deep voice like a rumble of thunder on a summer day when there's a storm. I was plowing a field when I heard a scream, and I thought,
Uh-oh, that was a with. Did you say with? I'm not sure. They say I'm wrong or right. He's a good sport. Next. Sir?
Go back to
Okay, that's very quick. I came to rescue. We're going to get past this paragraph by God. I came to rescue you.
I came to rescue you, Macintosh said, with a deep voice, like a rumble of thunder on a summer day. When there's a storm, I was plowing a field when I heard a scream. With I heard a scream.
All right, next. Please be seated in the torture. I came to rescue you. We're still on the same paragraph here.
I came to rescue you, Macintosh said with a deep voice, like a rumble of thunder on a summer day when there's a storm. I was plowing a field with I heard a scream, and I thought you might need my muscles to save you.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I was wrong. That does say save you. Please continue. Every time I make a mistake, whoever's up here gets to head me. Save you, go on.
So I came. I'll save you now.
We have finished a paragraph, go.
Cheerily answers happily, because even if she was under a gargantuan pile of rocks, she was happy to have a stallion with many muscles come to save her from being trapped beneath it forever.
Well, next page.
Big snacks,
Macintosh. We got up to the next page. All right. Next. All right. Here is a Hoof of Argon veteran. Begin.
Start from the top. He, Big Macintosh, put his large hooves against one of the rocks, a big one that was some here near the middle of the pile, and pushed as his muscles pushed against his skin. The orcs left when they exploded violently away, because that was how strong Big Macintosh was, with his muscles pursuing them. I'm saved! Thank you, Big Macintosh.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Wait, it has to be paragraphs. Continue.
I'm saved. Thank you, Big Macintosh. Sherry-less 8. You're welcome, Big Macintosh said. I love you. Oh, well, I love you that way also. I think we should be special some more years. Shirley said. Shirley smiled with happiness and was in love with Big Macintosh, and because he saved her and she liked his muscles, that got rocks off of her.
Oh, he's laughing. Okay. Brilliant. Yeah.
I don't know, Big Macintosh said. He really did want to be her special sun pony, but for some reason he said he didn't. It was like something inside him couldn't decide, even though he would decide he wanted to love Cheerily. So he said that he didn't know. Then more rocks tumbled down, falling churlily, with a loud crash like a bunch of drums falling down a big flight of stairs, if drums were rocks. She screamed and felt an ache in her heart because she didn't know if Macintosh was her special sun pony, and also how she'd get out from under him. I wish I'd said I'd be her special sun pony, Big Macintosh said in his head, so Cheerily couldn't hear. But his muscles heard his deep voice that didn't say anything. And they got to pushing the rocks again, because if Big Macintosh wanted to be Cheerily's special sun pony, he was going to rescue for her from all the rocks that fell on her. When Shirley was free again, she smiled and Macintosh said, I rescued you because I want you to be my special sunplum. Good, Shirley said.
A round of applause and then move on. Congratulations! Top of the page.
Shirley kissed Macintosh, and Macintosh kissed Shirley, and they pressed together like toe boards that were nailed together with no space between them because they nailed them really fast.
That's how we play it. Next. Okay, no, take your time to do this. Start reading, sir. Top of the page.
Shirley kissed Macintosh, and Macintosh kissed Shirley, and they pressed together like two boards.
Two boards. All right. From the top of the page, sir.
Shirley kissed Macintosh, and Macintosh kissed Shirley, and they pressed together like cow boards that were nailed together with no space between them, because they nailed them really good. They stopped kissing.
Like your muzzle and your dip butt!
Shirley said. Good, Macintosh said. And he was glad because Shirley loved him and loved his muscles, which he had a lot. That meant she loved him a lot.
I like your pretty face and the eye of God you have!
Good,
Good!
Shirley said. She had eyes of a color all the time, so she knew he would love her forever. They loved each other because Big Macintosh moved rocks and saved her.
Saved her. I like the voices, though. Voices are good. If you can read this kind of thing well, read it dramatically.
They loved each other because Big Macintosh moved rocks and saved her. And there was love in that was deeper than a hole in the ground, that lead to the core of the earth, which is the deepest thing. And they loved deeper than that. They got married, and it was a beautiful.
Beautiful. You had an A in there. It said beautiful. Next. They loved each other.
They loved each other because Big Macintosh moved rocks and saved her. And there was love in that was deeper than a hole in the ground that led to the core of the earth, which is the deepest thing. And they loved deeper than that. They loved each other because Big...
You're reading it over again. It was that good, yeah. Remember, we gotta keep it moving, so I'll manufacture whatever mistakes. If I get it wrong, tell me, and then the person up here gets
They loved each other because Big Macintosh moved rocks and saved her. And there was love in that was deeper than a hole in the ground, that led to the core of the earth, which is the deepest thing. And they loved deeper than that. They got married, and it was beautiful.
Beautiful is probably the way to pronounce that, sir. We've gotten to the next paragraph.
They got married, and it was beautiful. Because it was a lovely day on the spring with the apples on the trees of the acres of sweet apples where the sun shone.
Apples?
Apples?
Apples. All right, thank you very much. Next. If we can get to the end of this, we can go on to the hard one. Dewey Tuffle. Remember, folks in the line, get past Dewey Tuffle. Dewey Tuffle. And it's real Tuffle. They got married and it was beautiful. Does that count as Dewey Tuffle? Yes! Okay, go on. In case it was a lovely day. It was a lovely day. Look at anybody who's complaining, look at the size of that line. We got to keep things moving. Sir. They got married.
They got married, and it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Get us past this paragraph, sir. They got married.
They got married, and it was beauty.
Okay, somebody's going to get us past this. If not, there's a lot of people who get a chance to try. So win-win. Okay, we have another veteran. They got married.
They got married, and it was beautiful because it was a lovely day on the spring with the apples on the trees of the acres of Suit apples, where the sun shone with a glow like a giant candle that was bring enough to make it daytime. Other ponies were there, such as Applejack, Applebloom, Granny Smith, and all Applejack's friends.
And Applejack's friends. I'm so sorry, that was so good. That was so good. Let's start with other ponies.
Other ponies were there, such as Applejack, Applebloom, Granny Smith, and Applejack's friends, and Applebloom's friends, and other ponies from town. There were many ponies on that brightly day, and Charringly and Macintosh got married then. All the ponies were so happy because they could see the love that Big Macintosh and Cheerio had and showed in their eyes. The goodness of the day was increased when no rocks fell on Cheerily and Big Macintosh could not use his massive muscles for saving her, but for marinating her. This made the day better than any day before when they weren't married yet. And sometimes rocks fell because they liked getting married. And they got to get married to each other, which was good. At the end of the day, they were married and liked together forever.
This out there, tremble. Those of you who have never seen this, tremble worse. Out to the first line. MLP. You hit me in the head because I got it wrong. Oh, you do, yes, but tried any title of the thing and started getting it wrong. MLP FIM Crisis in Time Space by 00 Mario Fan Forever 00. No. Begin through Twilight.
Twilight woke up in her bed after she became a princess.
Decema. B-E-C-E-M-A. Decema. This is the tough one, folks. If we can get through this by the end of the panel, it is a powerful victory. Sir, first line.
Twilight woke up in her bed after she'd become a...
Decema. Decema. B-E-C-E-M-A. A-M-A. There's going to be a lot of this. First line.
Twilight woke up in her bed after she became a princess.
Bellissima. Yeah, get us past our first sentence, please. All right.
This one. Twilight woke up in her bed after she became a princess. But it was hard to remember that she has wings now, and they wear twist on her and hurt. How I so remember that I have that now. This is a hard thing to get used. She got up the bed, and but her wings were twisted the planet kept, and she fell on Spike. Ow, Twilight, what? Out. Spike hurt loud. Sorry, Spike. I don't mean to, but a princess is a hard new thing to be, and Spike understands. Twilight went.
It was a little bit of a laugh. Let's let somebody else try it. Great performer. Applause, please. From Sorry Spike. But it's not pronounced sorry. Or you can try from here.
Heard loud. Sorry, Spike. I don't mean to, but a princess is a hard new thing to be, and Spike understands.
Twill it. It's twill, not twit. Yeah, this is a great literature. You have to pronounce it very correctly. Okay, let's go from this part.
Hard laugh, hurt loud. Sorry, Spike. I don't mean to, but a princess is a hard new thing to be, and Spike understands. Twillet went.
Can we let it continue?
Yes! Went down the stairs to the kitchen to make breakfast for her and also Spike. But a loud noise came from outside. Twillet went to look, and it was a storm, but a far storm, but still loud.
I'm sorry. You started to laugh, and you had every reason to. Congratulations. You got us past four sentences.
Twillitow went to look, and it was a storm, but a far storm, still loud. What's going on? I thought Pegasus wasn't supposed to make that weather today. Then the storm got green and flashed, and a loud bolt shook the land.
That's the laugh. You wrote. But from then the storm got green here.
Then the storm got green and flash, and a loud bolt shook the land. Wise kind of weather came from cloud. Don't do that. Rainbow dat.
You know, I'm gonna have to, you gotta pronounce it. That is a question. There are two question marks, not just one, so you have to go cloud, don't do that. Sorry. Yeah, I'm afraid so, yes. Next, look at the size of the line. Everybody needs to get a chance. Go to the back one. Oh! This is tough. This is really tough. Yes, it is Rainbow Dash, correct. How about why is kind of
Wise kind of weather came from. Cloud don't do that.
Question mark. Somebody come up here who can read it as a question, please.
They haven't read the exclamation marks.
We have like 4 pages in this form, page 1. Wise kind of weather.
Wise kind of weather came from. Cloud don't do that. Rainbow Dash came fast from her house and said, and soon also other ferns came soon to also look at and wondered what made it. Was it Evel? Spike burp a letter from a princess and it came on highway.
All right. All right. We got to a new sentence. Spike burp.
Spike burp a liter from a princess, and it came on Twilitt's hoof, so she opens it. Dear Tillit, Spackrel, and friends, a greatest evil from beyond the world has came, and you must help. It's only hope for Equestria. It's real urgent, so we need to got to Equestria to help Clasistia. Twilligat yells hero to her friends, to her
Freeds. Brilliant. And we got 2 new sentences.
Twilligat yells hero to her friends, and Spike so she magic them there fast. They got in
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
Let him have that.
Chapter 2. They got in the cast in Cantrilot, and Princes Celestia.
Solstia. Great though, we're making progress. Let's keep going. Solstia. Start from they got.
They got in the castle in
Cast. Oh! It says C-A-S-T. It's cast. This is tough.
Read as a pirate.
They got. We'll get to the next page.
They got in the cast in Cantrellot, and Princes Celstia and Luan were there and in armor. Why in the armor? You can't figure. You have to stay here to make it safe. Twilight was protecting them, and she didn't want to them to get hurts so bad. Twilight, I have to tell you about that the danger is bigger than this, and it's my duty to help. And Celeste sighed to Twilight, but she was more questiones. What do meant it's bigger than this? Twilight, there's a big secret, but I can only tell.
New page.
You later. Right now, it's
rigged now. We got to the next page. We're on page 2.
You later. Rig now.
Rigged.
That's what he said.
Rigged now, it's urgent to make the attack. Then Luna takes them to Emperor.
To the Emperor. From the top of the page.
You later. Read now, it's Argon's to make the attack. Then Luna takes them to the arbor. Here, have this on to prosect. And gave to friends.
Freedens? Freedens. That sounded like Freedens to me. I'm sorry.
No fun.
We gotta keep people looking. I mean, look at the size of this line. I'm gonna try to get through as many people as I can. If anybody didn't get the chance to read, just I'm not sure to tell you.
Later, bring it now in Argon to make the attack. Then Luna takes them to the arbor. Here, have this on to protect. And gave to friends. Pinky had a bad time to get it on with her armor, so freely magics it on her, and Rarity doesn't like the colors on it, so she magicked it purple in the glitter, but is still don't get what are we even fibbing. They ask her, this is the day I'm afraid of.
Afraid of. Clearly afraid of. Very good. Very, very good. We're going to move on to one of the sentences in here, and I'll take it from the top this time.
Pinky had a bad time to get it on with her armor, so Twilite magics it on her. And Rarity doesn't like the colors on it, so she magic it purple and glitter. But is still don't get what are we even fifthing?
Should I be tough about the question marks? No. I think I should be tough about the... No?
Leave it alone.
Okay, go on. The thing?
The thing? They ask her, this is the day I'm afraid of. The worst evil has came back. And it's the worst than... It's
worse than... Oh, he's doing so well, though.
Good try,
What are we even fitting as a question?
What are we even fifthing? They ask her. This is the day I'm afraid of. The worst evil.
Afraid of. All right. Next. And I would like to hear what are we even fitting asked as a question. There are 2 question marks. It should really count as a question.
They didn't do the exclamation marks.
What are we even fifthing? They ask her. This is the day I'm afraid of. The worst evil has came back. It's worse than Sogram and Disrod and things together. Fluttershy was scared loud that she strats to cry loud from scared, and others were also scared. Fluttershy, chapter 3. The storm was big than ever, and now was red and not Riyadh, and very loud to shake the wordle. This looks like it.
Go from this Lokes. I think he got us all the way to this Lokes. This looks like Lokes. Okay, sorry. This looks like it's at the end of time. Quotation marks. Terlig, think out loud. And Celesta, you're more than you think twilight, double comma. This evil is greatest than the worst war. This is time for put all around, and so and there will be nothing, not even time. Quotation mark, but why? Yeah! 4 question marks, folks. Is there something we can do? Yes, but only if we try with harmony. So this was scared to, but still strong in her. Strong. from Yes But Only. And read with animation, that was great stuff. Yes But Only.
Yes, but only if we try with harmony. Celesta was scared too, but still strong enough.
Strong in. Thank you. Yes, but only.
Yes, but only if we try with harmony. Celesta was scared too, but still strong in her face of the worst fear. Fluttershy was even more cry, but Rainbow Dad was strong to fight. If it messens, we can save not just world, but also time. I can fix it for all the ponies in Equestria. Then she did.
And she did. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. How about if it means we messens? Want to keep going? Should I let him have another chance? Yes.
Messens, we can save not just world, but also time. I can hit it. I fight.
No, wait. Up. You get to hit me with it because I read it wrong. Okay. That's right.
I can figure for all the ponies in a...
For my all the ponies. We're going to go for I can figure it at this point. If it messens, we can save not just world, but also time.
If it's messens, we can save not just world, but also time. I can figure for all my ponies.
For my all the ponies. For my all the ponies. There's a reason. Now this might be dangerous. This man might be dangerous. We are starting from if it messens.
If it messens, we can save not just world, but also time. I can fix it for my all the ponies in Equestria. And she did a brave loopy-loop on the sky. Luna isn't happy with her like that.
Wanted to continue? Let it go! That makes the word count here.
Rayon Valdash. This is Serioso. We can all die. No, not just die, but never be unborn. It was definitely very dark in the time. This really was the worst danger. But what do we fix it? How do we stop it? Cestia, look at dark on the ground. It's the evil time god that I locked away a long time.
No, lock. It's lock. That sounds like lock. I'll go along with that.
Philosopher lock.
You pronounce that the same way.
And I locked away a long time ago. He is where Discahud got his power to forget ponies their real self. So then it should be good to make Discord help? Twilight gives questions to her.
Questions, we call it questions. Brilliant, you almost got to the last Usually the audience is happy to let people understand. If the audience calls it, I'm going to honor it. We are trying reading that word. Trying to make it the first word.
Well, let the questions to
Kestions. They were making Kestions. And nobody knows who wrote this. I'd love to find out. Okay. Read this name without laughing.
Twilot, questions to her, but a sad look came on the princess's face. We tried his help, but this Corid is died. And Fluttershy,
F-L-U-T-E-R-S-Y-H. Chat with him. Let's start from this name. Twigit. Twiltgit. It's clearly Twiltgit. Okay, next person, please start by reading Twiltgit. We only have about 10 minutes. Let's get through this.
Twiltgit questions to her, but a sad look came on the princess's face. We tried his help, but this crowd is died. And
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let go.
But we're going to continue from try D. So remember, the audience wants you to say try D and go from there.
Try D is help, but this road is died. And Fluttershy was sad, even more, and sighed so loud to tear us. But he... You pay! He is my bride now! And she fell for crying, but secretly was more than just a being. She was her boyfriend, and they already just kissed yesterday. She was too much sad to have a figure and wasn't to fly home, but they don't let her.
Wasn't to fly home. She was too much sad to have and wasn't to fly home, but they don't let her. Now, if you run out of time bleeding, you have the permission to order me to complete it. Let's go from up here.
Piggins and wasn't to fly home, but they don't let her. Fluttershy, this can be a regvenige on the evil that killeth him. Ryodash comforted her with her huff. She secondly wants to be her guilt time. Okay, and we can go crying sugar cubes. Applejack was in a mode for fugating. We can make us spell better after we bet it. And she was rigged. They went to their battle Bustoins and got ready. This enemy is very strong to good. So, Twilight, I can say Twilight. Uyo have to use your best macking, Celestia tell. Tewiltuga made Riety her Stormstead fight, and so did Righty, but it was just 6 roars. Then the Pinkisser magic them in the cool, there it was so dark and evil.
Let's have a big round of we're not done. We have another chapter. Well, I would call it a chapter, but those who have to. Okay, sounds like you got a head start. All right, take us home.
Captre 4. Time God was big and he wasn't a pony, but some hating worse. Fools, it's time to end it. Why can try sucked it? And he shot a time wave at Cletissa. And
Where audience is saying try two. I didn't hear a two either.
all right. All right.
But we will continue from try two. If I can find it. Oh no, we need to go out there. Dang it, no, we got to capture his four. So, fools, it's time to end it. Why?
Try to split it, and he shot a time wave at Celestia.
Cletissa. We're going to go from Cletissa. We've got 5 minutes.
Cletissa, but she dodged it. This is not the way, time god. You have foul yourself, and thinking you have such a power, but ye did listen. You're the fool.
Litsnen. Keep me posted on whether I have to finish this myself. All right. Litsnen.
Litsnen, you're the full pissedness. You have ruled too long and throw another time wave at this time. All
Eltherd. Thank you very much. We got a couple of words in. And throw another time wave, is that where we're at? Yeah, throw everything.
And throw another time wave at this time, all fainters. But twilight quit
till white.
Till white quick made a horse filed a runod them. Yo, you must be Twilight Spakel. Did Celeste Ivan tell you the truth? What truth? Don't listen to him, Twilight. But she had to Nuko. To highlight good your.
That's the laugh, I think. That's the laugh. We're going to get as many people as we can in this last few minutes. This name, right there.
What truth? Don't listen to him. Twilight. But she had no. Twilight. Oh, okay. Chicken lie, you're not really what they had said. What? Why are you just trying to distract you?
Disarced you.
So good.
Yes, thank you. That was the way to do it. All right. How about don't? Don't listen to him, will it?
Don't listen to him, Twilight. But she had to Nicole. To Quilahit good. You're not really what they had said. What? Twite, he's just trigging to disarct you. But you went to him now. Tell me, Twilight, you're a doppet. But not from other promise. From me. As Twilight was so shocked to hear. Why didn't you tell me, Sequestria? I'm sorry, Twilight. You weren't supposed to find out this way, but it was too late. And then Time God shot at Seletua a time wave at her, and she didn't bloke it fast, and it hits. Seletia, they all yell, but not Tillwhite, because she is still shocked from the news. Celestia was old from.
Next page. Okay, this guy actually can't. Okay, you go and I'll take over when you break. You get to hit me if I get it right.
The time was now and seed. Twilight am sorry, and she died into dust. Alponus was crying now a lot, and also Luna, because that's her sister. Then Twilight got snaped from her shocking. You are my father, but you are evil. And she got rella mad and a lot magic. She shot at him her best spell, but even better, Biakusu, she had a magic from elements of harmony that also other Ponus was doing it, and it shot waves at Time God, and he got put back in his time hole where he was banished. Sagat per 5. Tillite was had to be made the one to repel Celticia and Tur, she died into dust, but he dust was put into a jar for her memroy and repext. Luna was Cyrig the most. She was the O'Neill Sisrite I can have. And Tylite Tris O'Comfroft. Oh,
Comroft. And Tillite tries, oh, Comroft her, but she cries too. Oh, Luna, I'm so sorry I was a fool for the time god trap. It's not your fault, Twilight. He was an evil power, and they hug for sorry. Luna hooked her more, and then they had a kiss. And then later, at home, Ranibo Dast was at Fluttershy's house to hug her better. I was so much cry. Yeah, but you still help, so you are a hero. And they hug. And then they had a kiss like Aaron Bosash always whats her to do. Then Tillite and Luna walks in too. Hey, your girl fiends too, like just... Two just like us. Chapter epilogue. What? Oh. Hey, your girl fiends too, just like us? Chapter epilogue. It was lots later. And Rain Owl with Dash and Fluttershy and Luna and Till we're having a double wedding. It's where two couples get a wedding at the same time. And they all kiss, but only Fluttershy, Dash, and Luna Light. Not all four echo third. They're not a force in you. And now they're married together. The end! Good night all.